The trigger for the devastating mass extinction 375 million years ago wasn't an asteroid, and it wasn't a volcano. It was plants. That's right. When land plants developed deep root systems, they inadvertently tore apart the bedrock, dumping trillions of tons of nutrients into the sea. It was exactly like dumping 1 billion truckloads of fertilizer into a fish tank. The result? Marine algae exploded globally. They rose up like a deadly curtain, blocking out all the light and sucking up all the oxygen. The oceans suffocated. Marine life back then didn't die from fiery explosions or catastrophic impacts. They were slowly killed off over millions of years. From massive coral reefs to armored fish the size of a bus, they all drowned right in their very own waters. By the time the oceans could finally breathe again, 75% of life on Earth had vanished forever. Fast forward to 201 million years ago. Earth at this time had just one supercontinent, Pangaea. But the planet's core was overheating, and Pangaea was ripped in two. You'd think seawater would rush in. No, what filled that rift was fire. A valley of lava thousands of miles long, cracked wide open, as if the Earth had just been sliced open, spilling its fiery guts. Toxic gases spewed into the sky, turning Earth into a giant oven. The oceans were boiled and turned into an acid bath. 80% of life essentially vaporized. The giant crocodile-like monsters that ruled the land were completely wiped out. But one creature's disaster is another's golden opportunity. By wiping out the old predators, this volcanic eruption rolled out the red carpet for an obscure species to rise up and claim the throne. Dinosaurs. And their dynasty would last for hundreds of millions of years, right up until the greatest catastrophe in history struck. The Triassic extinction took thousands of years to kill off the Earth, but the greatest catastrophe in history took exactly 1 day. 66 million years ago, the Cretaceous mass extinction began. A space rock the size of Mount Everest slammed straight into the Gulf of Mexico at 45,000 miles per hour, 72,000 kilometers per hour. Its destructive power equivalent to 10 billion atomic bombs detonating all at once. The impact gouged a crater 20 miles, 30 kilometers deep into the Earth's crust. Boom! Anything within a 600-mile or 1,000-kilometer radius was instantly vaporized. But wait, that was just the beginning. Boulders were blasted into space and rained back down as fire, igniting global wildfires. Mega tsunamis hundreds of feet high swallowed the coastlines. Soon after, ash and debris choked the sky, completely blotting out the sun. Earth was plunged into a deadly winter. The food chain collapsed. 75% of all life vanished forever, abruptly ending the dinosaurs' 150 million year reign. Honestly, the dinosaurs didn't do anything wrong. They just had the terrible luck of crossing paths with the universe's ultimate wrecking ball. Rewind to 440 million years ago. The Ordovician-Silurian mass extinction wiped out 85% of marine life. And the culprit this time was completely invisible. Earth didn't get smashed by a space rock. It got sniped by a gamma ray burst from a dead star thousands of light years away. This is the most powerful type of explosion in the universe. In exactly 10 seconds, an invisible beam swept across, turning our planet into a giant microwave. It obliterated half of the ozone layer. Stripped of this shield, UV rays from the sun rained down like a hail of bullets, literally cooking the DNA of any organism living near the surface. Before Earth could even catch its breath, the atmosphere collapsed, plunging the planet into a brutal ice age. Sea levels plummeted more than 330 feet, or 100 meters, in free fall. Marine life was trapped in the most ruthless game of survival imaginable. Swim too high and get fried by UV radiation. Swim too deep and freeze to death in toxic waters. Crushed between the deadly grip of the cosmos and catastrophic climate change. Yet, somehow, against all impossible odds, life still managed to thread the needle and survive. And here it is, the final boss of all apocalyptic disasters. 252 million years ago, Earth was nearly wiped off the map completely in the Great Dying. The Earth's crust in Siberia suddenly cracked wide open, vomiting a sea of lava continuously for 2 million years. That amount of magma was enough to drown the entire United States under 1,000 feet, 300 meters of boiling rock. The terrifying heat ignited underground coal seams. Earth morphed into a toxic pressure cooker. Acid rain poured down, corroding the shells of marine creatures right as they were swimming. But the most chilling part? Oxygen-starved oceans caused anaerobic bacteria to multiply like crazy, releasing toxic hydrogen sulfide gas and dyeing the seawater a sickly, putrid pink. Toxic gas bubbled up and spilled onto the shores, suffocating land animals right on the spot. The ozone layer was shredded, allowing UV rays to slip through and bake everything alive. The result? Boom! 96% of marine life and 70% of land life vaporized. Earth was left scorched and barren, looking exactly like the surface of Venus. You think lava and toxic gas are the peak of extinction? Dead wrong. The final extinction event we're about to mention is much more brutal, and it wasn't caused by an asteroid or a volcano. The sixth mass extinction is happening right now, but the culprit didn't come from outer space or deep underground. It's us. Welcome to the Holocene extinction. For the very first time in history, a single species has turned itself into a weapon of mass destruction. By tearing up the land, poisoning the oceans, and superheating the climate, humans are cranking the extinction rate up to 10,000 times the natural background rate. We are wiping out species before we even discover them. Basically, humanity is the asteroid, the supervolcano, and the toxic algae bloom all rolled into one. Life on Earth will definitely survive, but the real question is, millions of years from now, will humans still rule this world, or will we just be fossilized skeletons for some other species to dig up and study? Smash that subscribe button if you want to survive the end of the world.